Hello, 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 hello. Test, test, two, one, two, test. Hey guys, I hope you guys can hear me well, see me well. Let me know in the chat. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat right now. I see a few of you guys. Alicia, PR by Dominic Pryor, Leonella, Kerhub, Kevin, Ingrid. Thank you so much for being live with me, guys. Let me know if you can hear me well, see me well, if it's too loud as well. I've finally been able to put my microphone on the stand, so it should be better theoretically. But anyhow, let me do my spiel here, guys. Welcome to the first live of the 1 week portrait challenge. In these episodes that we'll do every day starting today, every day, same time during the week. So theoretically, we are Tuesday for most people, if not everybody. So we're going to have one Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe one on Monday, just because it's Halloween, but I haven't planned anything yet. We'll talk about this. And so every day, I'm going to show you guys a little bit more techniques, some transformation. We're going to have some fun. Really, the goal of these lives is to give you some knowledge, but also just to show you how you can have some fun with the challenge and all. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here, guys. So everybody tells me that the sound is good. Clear, awesome, great. Hey everybody, hi. So today what we're going to do is a transformation of a witch. So let me show you what I have prepared for you guys. This is what I have today. I might just move this in that corner, maybe make it smaller so it doesn't take that much space. There we go. That's gonna be better. All right, you guys, so my goal, I'm going to close all the windows that you guys don't see what I see that are annoying. Just going to keep the chat so I can chat with you guys. And I'll put the chat over here. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform this into a witch. And as you can see, I already started. I made a quick and dirty sketch here. So as you can see, this is very dirty. That's the idea. I didn't want to push it more than that. What I'll do is try to show you the steps on how to paint that from the reference pictures that I gather right here. It's just a clear example on how you can transform your portrait into a monster. No matter if it's a witch, a vampire, a demon, those are the three things that I'll do this week with you. Today and tomorrow, witch. Then we're going to do Thursday, Friday, vampire, and then Saturday, Sunday, a demon. I'll have 3 different illustrations. So that's super exciting. Also, there's one thing happening at the same time as the OWP challenge, guys, and we have a special promotion. Let me just start with that, guys, so we can move on to something else afterwards. I've prepared this here. So you might see those couple of things passing by during the week. Basically, what we have is a promotion right now. You can get the Digital Paint Academy, you can get the Perfect Portrait Foundation, and the 1 Week Portrait Masterclass. All bundles for a ridiculous reduced price. So $297 for those 3 things. You'll see there's links in the description if you want to go check it out later, obviously. I also have a VIP tour. You can check inside the DPA if you haven't been in it. Although I saw a few names, guys. I know there's a few students, so hi to the students that are already in the DPA. But if you are interested, this is going to be available all week long, but you won't be able to catch that deal on the 1st. On the 1st of November, this is gone. So if you're interested, be sure to not snooze on it. And with that being said, let's go back to painting. Also, these sessions are meant to be a little bit of Q&A sessions. So if you have any questions on anything at any point, you can always let me know. If you put a capital Q in front of it, it's going to be easier. And I'm going to have some moments where I'll stop painting and answering questions. So if you shoot me a question while I'm in the middle of the action, just be patient. I'll come back at you afterwards. You might have to put it twice, but beside that, I'll try to answer the questions. So let me show you what I have, and then we'll chat. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to spend 2 days on each illustration. The first day, so today, I'm going to show you how I developed the idea, how I'm going to transform the base and rough painting, and then tomorrow I'm going to add details, and tomorrow is going to be like a little bit more of a Q&A. You'll be able to ask me more questions. Today we're going to be like showing you how to kind of transform your portrait, because this is the one thing different this year, guys. We are going to change our portraits into monsters. Usually we only do portraits during the 1 week portrait challenge. So that's a big, big difference. So if you are ready, you can show me your thumbs up, guys. This is going to let me know that everything is clear. So let's get started with the rest. So this is a previous 1 week portrait illustration that I did. The model was Rachel Bradley. Rachel, if you are listening, thank you for the inspiration. That was awesome. And what I'll do now is transform this into a witch. Let me show you what I have on my mood board. I'm going to try to add a hat, some mushroom, some sort of a color, then decided which one. I want like an animal, like a bird. I took this one because I thought it was kind of cool, and I want some transparency here. So that's a quick sketch that I did. So the idea when you transform your portrait is don't go straight into making the transformation. Making a quick sketch like this took me about 10 to 20 minutes, where you put your rough ideas, without erasing too much. Just put your rough ideas. This is going to help you to kind of just visualize what you see. Obviously, you see it's super rough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use all of those things to kind of create what makes sense. And I'm going to run you through my thought process. So if you've been following the 1 week portrait masterclass, you have seen a little bit of my process already. I'm going to put more space here so you guys see this. You already saw my process a little bit, and what I want to show you today is kind of like more of the same, but at the same time a little bit more organic. So the process that you have in the class is very strict, step by step. When you understand the step, you might go a little bit back and forth. You do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it's going to be a little bit like this, but if you have any question at any point, you just let me know. So the first thing I think I'm going to do, looking at my sketch, looking at what I have here, is I'm probably going to make a sketch to kind of help me with it all. I'm going to resize the portrait right now. It's too big, and probably do the background. I want a more pale background. So when I do this, the reason why I start with the background, and if you want to take notes, this is the kind of tips you can get on these lives. The reason I'm going to go with the background first to change it is because I'm probably going to have to render the colors later, render the lighting, and the contrasts, the color harmony, the color just comparison. So colors usually are perceived based on which colors is adjacent to them. If I start with the background, it's going to help me basically to add the colors later. So I'm going to do all of those things right now. So let me just move that somewhere here. I'm going to make a copy so we have a before and after later of this. And I'm just going to kind of create a layer in between. I'm going to put that layer on white. It's just a separation. And then I'm going to resize this image just quite a bit, I think, about this. I'll be sketching on top of it in a second, maybe a little bit smaller, I guess. So that's better. And like I was saying, I'm going to change the background. So I already did my sketch. I'm going to pick up the color that I already have here, kind of fill up that background, and then on a top layer, I'm going to just paint. I'm going to use a texture brush. The reason why I'm showing a texture brush is like not too much of a texture. You can see just a little bit of texture brush. Any texture brush can do, but just a little bit of texture, because this is going to help me to just not kind of have like just a flat value. The idea of me painting on this today is kind of just helping me with the base. So like I was saying, today it's all about the big of a transformation. So you're going to see me like doing the hat. You're going to see me doing the little birdies. But I might keep things rough. Like this is kind of rough right here, and that's just fine. I'll be polishing a little bit of this. I'm probably going to be polishing a little bit tomorrow during the day because this is the night for me. I don't know what time is it for you guys. Let me know in the chat. Right now for me, it's 8 p.m. I'm assuming for the people in the States, it's either early or very early, depending if you're on the west side or on the east side. But anyhow, all that to say that tomorrow I want to show you a little bit more like renderings. lighting, how to adjust the lighting based on that new concept, right? Because when you have a portrait that you start like this from something that you already created, sometimes you have to adjust the lighting. So those things we'll do tomorrow. Today it's all about putting the sketch there, having the big ideas, kind of doing a better version of what I have right here, kind of thing. Create a new layer. Always create new layers just to help you to kind of keep track of everything. And on this one, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to do a quick sketch of this. So there's the hat, there's the mushrooms, the hair, all of those things. And as I'm saying this, guys, I'm seeing your time zones. That's awesome. So all of these things that I want to paint, I'm going to create just a new layer using black for now. Doesn't matter really. And I'm going to first start with the hat. So the hat, what I like about the hat here, I'm not going to keep like the same thing. So one thing that is super important to understand when you want to kind of do things from imagination like this, where you put a few references together, is to understand the basic foundation skills that you need to be able to rotate things in space and add lighting from imagination. We're talking here about lighting theory and perspective. Those two things are super important. Lighting theory is going to be tomorrow. Perspective is what I need right now to actually move this. Those are the kind of skills that, by the way, you can learn in the DPA. If you are a DPA member, you should already have seen the perspective module that we have in there. And so for now, I'm just going to try to kind of have a basic sketch. I want to keep the same kind of design that I have here. So I'm just going to look at this, but then I'm going to probably refer to the reference pictures a little bit to kind of have an idea on how I can push that even further. Kind of doing this, that, and I'm going through the form here. Got my microphone here. I'm going through the form here and very sketchy, just to kind of understand. Like the hair probably is going to go away. I might go back on my layer from the bottom here and just kind of paint over the hair here a little bit, just to kind of help me visualize everything here a little bit better. And then go back with a sketchy brush. These are the brush, if you are in the DPA, these are the sketchy brush. I love this brush when it comes to sketching pretty much anything. So that and that. I'm gonna have this like this. And shape design. Now, shape design is one of those things I think that is definitely not understood enough. When you talk about shape design, we're talking about perspective, but also just like basic shapes. Like right now, I'm trying to see like what looks good, and I have it on a separate layer here, so I can put it lower or higher depending on what I want. Shape design is basically how this hat is going to look as a shape. If you want something that looks pleasing to the eye, there's different things like triangles and squares that will help you with perspective, but also, you know, like when you have things like that are like too round, like for example here, I have the belt that's going to go on that hat. I'm thinking I don't want to have it like perfectly rounded, although this could help you with perspective or with just shading. I'm going to try to have like some edges. So, you know, like just a few edges like this, and this is going to give just a little bit more of an interesting shapes to it. Then I did that. So from here, I think I need a bit of a reference. So that's the gap in my head. I want to go back to the reference, see what I have here. I think I like the way this shape does, but I want it to kind of go lower, but I want it to kind of curl at the same time. So if you have a portrait, if you want to do a witch, if you want to do a hat, always take more than one reference. In this case, I took just two, and I don't think that was enough. I should have maybe a little bit more. I'm going to have like a crease, a fold here for the hat. And then I'm going to think about like, all right, so maybe I have like some different kind of folds in the hat. Trying to think about that, how it folds in perspective. Now, this is going to help me to just understand the planes of that hat. I'm just going to kind of delete the hair here because I'm pretty sure that I won't need all of that. And all right, so that's the shape that I'm going to start with. I'm going to keep adding to it. I think what I'll have is a rough sketch and then a final sketch, exactly like I'm doing in the masterclass, really. I might just flip it from one side to another side, kind of see the shape, and I'm glad I did because I feel like maybe this needs to be just kind of maybe a little bit more rounded. This goes here. It's probably, I'm going to go paint over the face like this, and maybe it's coming like that. Not quite sure. I'm going to flip that reference because what I'm trying to get is kind of that shape, and I don't think I'm quite there. Let me see if I can just kind of do a better curl. It curls towards the up, kind of curls like this, curls back down, and then I think you have just a little bit more of an opposite curl, kind of right here, something like that maybe. Is that good enough? Something like that, maybe. Yeah, I think that's better. Better shape right there. And here we go. If you're in the chat, whoops. Ooh. The wheel appeared. Give me a second. All right, there we go. If you're in the chat, let me know what kind of monster are you working on right now. Are you making a zombie, a vampire? Which one are you making? I'm curious. Already I did a zombie. What did I do? I did a werewolf and I did a Frankenstein monster. Today I'll make a witch, then a vampire, and then I'll finish the week with a demon. So I have 6, which is pretty cool. If you're more advanced, that's something that you can do in the challenge. You can try to challenge yourself by doing more than one portrait. If you are a newbie, definitely follow the class. Just follow the steps every day. They are going to bring you where you need to go. I want to say hi to everybody that joined in, basically, guys. I'll be doing some examples today of this one, like I was saying. Nicola says witch. I'm just starting coloring a vampire, says Lola. We'll do a corpse bridge zombie. Nice. Love that. Mummy, says Carl. Turning into a zombie. Nice. I think zombie is always a good option just because, I don't know, doing flesh is kind of cool. I don't know what that says about me. But I kind of like it, I gotta say. I was a huge fan of The Walking Dead for the first few seasons. I kind of didn't finish the season afterwards. All right, so I'm going to try to add just more details to that hat, but I'm also going to kind of keep it things, like I was saying, a little bit loose. I don't want to go into too much detail. I'm going to add a buckle here. Maybe something just like this. Mishkra says, I'm going for a zombie, however, I'm starting from scratch and making a new normal portrait first. I don't know when I should start adding the zombie details. That's a great question. You should add the zombie details when you have your portrait, I think. Especially if you start from scratch. Basically, what it tells me is that you just might need a little bit more practice than some, which is fine. So just give yourself as much of a break as possible, and just finish the full portrait first. It's going to help you in the long run. All right, so I'm going to place just a few birds. I have a bird here that I think that was super cute. I'm going to try to just kind of emulate the shape. That's the shape design I'm talking about, right? I'm not trying to do exactly the same. I'm just getting inspired by it. Kind of like this. Maybe smaller eye, something like that. That's interesting. Cute little feather. There's like kind of feather here. I think I'm going to put them completely black, but that's fine. Now that I have one, it's kind of good enough. I'm going to look at the placements that I put. I put one here, here. I'll try to do the same. Kind of have this. Having some sharp angles to some places will help with the design. Now, here's a tip for all of you guys. When you put, little birds like this, or when you put like an element, there's many ways you can do it. I could have put just one, right? I could have put just one, and then it would give a lot of importance to that element. So when you design something, you have to think about those things. If you put one element, no matter what's the element, it's going to put a lot of importance on that element. If you put two of them, it's going to put a little bit less important. But if you put three of them, then it becomes kind of like something added to the concept. If I were to just put one, it would be like almost like I have two characters, I would have a bird and the main character. But if you had three, then you have really one character, and then it becomes kind of like something that you add to the illustration instead of like a character for the birds. So that's something to remember. I'm going to try to place the other one. I think it was kind of here. So maybe kind of here, I guess. Just kind of, I want to see if I can just twist the head of this one, but keep the body like this, maybe. And I'm just going to merge everything together. I'm going to take a different eraser, something with a hard edge. I can just come and erase a few things inside. And then have this like that. So 3 birds. Now I'm going to add the mushrooms. New layer once again. And I had a few mushrooms here. So there's a zone here, a few there. Same principle occur here. If I were to put just one mushroom, it gives a lot of importance to that one mushroom. But if I put a lot, then it becomes part of the concept instead of becoming like almost like a character. Yes, mushroom could be a character, by the way. So I have a few mushrooms here that I really like. I'm just going to try to kind of first place like the basic kind of shapes. So I'm not going to go into like too much details. Just kind of overlapping a few of them like this. I'm having my, I'm going to play it on the same layer so I can just kind of erase a few things at the same time. I still want to keep things very loose at this point, so I don't stress too much about the shapes of the mushrooms. 1, 2, might try to have like another big one there that we can see the stem from below, kind of thing. And they are like kind of almost like flower looking, which I really like. I'm trying to keep that like this. I'm not gonna add too many details, but just a little bit of details at the bottom, just so we understand that. All right, so that's the bottom. Maybe another head here that appears in the background. I'm going to add some at the back as well. I'm trying to show like the concept as fast as I can today, because today I want to show you the concept and then probably the colors as well. I'm going to add some colors to this. And then tomorrow is going to be just about, like I was saying, lighting, rendering, those kind of things. So just 2 here. Just a bit of that here. And this is like really the rough sketch. I'm going to go see my sketch here. Where did I put the mushroom? There was a few here as well. So that, and then maybe one here, but then I think it's getting maybe a little bit busy. I'll see with the colors later, but I'm gonna put one there here. So that's pretty good. All right, let's add a few more articles real quick. I'm going to add a color. So for some reason, I feel like a witch should have a color. Let me know if you think I'm right. I had like 2 colors here. One very complex, one very, very chill. And I feel like I would like to kind of have like an hybrid of the both. So maybe something just inspired of those two. I'm thinking like something bigger than the one. I might also change the earrings a little bit later. And I don't know if I'm going to put like a star, but I'm thinking like maybe like a moon. With like a yin-yang looking kind of moon. And then maybe a star in this one like this. Could be interesting. Let's see. Star that touches. Something like that could be interesting. And then I wanted to have some transparency for the clothing. But before that, I'm going to just go in here and real quick kind of add some anatomy. So when you're adding the anatomy just like this, I'm not gonna even like just push too much the anatomy, just kind of push one arm here, some of the body here. I'll be able to just kind of go into like more precise anatomy by finding the right either reference later on or kind of sketching on top of it. But for now, just a little bit of flesh like this kind of helps. Something like that. And you know what? I might just kind of, because it might be too sketchy, I'm just going to kind of think about, all right, so I think that there's an arm there. Have the neck here, definitely. Clavicule here. Probably another arm here. Maybe the chest kind of starts there, and that's kind of the back. Then I might have like a cleavage of some sort here. I don't know if I'm going to maybe bring an elbow there or just kind of maybe crop the whole thing just a little bit more in a second, but for now I can kind of push this. Does that make sense? I think so, huh? Push that. Something like that for now. And I think I'm going to take everything, and like I was saying, I'm just going to kind of just change the cropping slightly. That's going to be closer. All right, I think I'm going to add the hair. So in the first illustration, I had no hair, but I think like just a little bit of hair is going to add just a little bit more of coolness to that character. I want some wavy hair that is going to go into the wind. Something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect for now, just a few strings, locks. I'm not sure how you call that. Would you say locks of hair? Is that a lock? I guess so, right? Just something that goes in the wind. I'll have the hair kind of go in front of the face right here into curls. I don't want it to go everywhere because I want it to, so that's too much. That's too much also. Maybe just that. I don't want it too much because I don't want to cover too much here. I still want to see the color. So that's pretty good for the hair. And I'm going to add real quick the clothing. So I wanted to have kind of like a tank top at the bottom and things. When I think about all of those things, especially clothing, you want to think about like simplifying things into geometric shapes. So I'm thinking like when I'm going to put the clothing on her, for example, I'm thinking about like a shape that's almost like that. let me just show you here. I'm going to make the 3D form of it. Like something with like a bottom plane, and then you have like that front plane, and then you have like a side plane here. Like this is the kind of the shape that in my head I'm thinking about, and then you can add some floppy stuff to it later on. But when you start, if you start with like a basic shape, it's going to help you. And it's something that I'm teaching in the advanced sketching module in the DPA, how to basically paint with perspective and geometric shapes to kind of do better sketches, especially from imagination. If you want to draw anything from imagination, you will have to kind of understand or grasp a little bit perspective. You don't have to be a pro, you don't have to be like perfect, but understanding a little bit. All right, I think I got everything that I need. Oh no, there was a few branches. I might add those branches later. Maybe just keep the things with the mushroom for now, because I feel like it's already busy. What do you guys think? Should I add branches to that? I had like branches here. I think that was a branch right there. Another one here. Let me know if you think I should add branches or not. Let me know. And I might give it a go. Before I add the color, which will reveal really the work that I've done. Also, I think the hat, maybe while you guys are answering me if I should add branches or not, maybe the hat needs to be kind of longer, I think, maybe here, just to match the same length from the other side. And maybe just a bit more puffy hair on the side here. Something like that. But yeah, I think it's pretty close there. I'm going to be able to add some colors real quick to this. And we might have a slight delay. Let me know, because we have a slight delay. Let me know if you want some branches in there. I think I want to add them just a little bit, but you know, I'm going to create just a new layer and see if I can create something like that, because it gives me the possibility to kind of add some moss to it, which could be interesting. Something like that. Maybe not that. Something like that. Is it too much? I think it's too much. I think I'm going to just start with that. So theoretically from here, I would probably do a final sketch, but I feel like I think I can just add quick and dirty colors so we can see where we're going with the color scheme. So like I was saying, I changed the background because I want to change a little bit the colors, as you can see with the a more pale background basically. But I want to keep the hat definitely dark, and probably the hair dark as well. I feel like witches usually have black hair. And that will be probably for today's thing. So as soon as I'm going to add those colors, then we're probably going to have the Q&A, guys. So if you have any questions about anything that I showed today, talked about, anything about the masterclass, or anything about the bundle, the promotion that we have right now, I'll be answering all of your questions in just a minute. I just want to add kind of just the basic colors. And I'm probably going to be adding just a better sketch probably after the live, because it's mainly tracing of my own lines to kind of create something slightly better. I might just add some fleshy tones here. That's not flesh, that's flesh. I feel like the shoulders are too large, or maybe this arm should be a little bit larger, maybe that's the case, yeah. So I might do that, and then I might just add, that's the transparency. So when you want to do like transparency clothing, my trick is just to have like a opaque layer, really. And then I'm just going to put the transparency down, and that's it. See that? It just looks amazing right away. Now, what it's missing from there is going to be adding just like slight differences. Like if I'm looking at the references, it's like where there's folds, it goes darker. So that I'll be adding probably tomorrow. For now, I just want to see the color scheme of it all. Create a new layer for every step. And I'm going to go towards maybe just in the blues, actually, blue grays for the hair. I want to see some differences for now. So maybe keep them gray, but if that doesn't work, I'll change it afterwards. So yeah. And so yeah, while I'm doing this, I'm actually able to read the chat, guys. So let me know if you have any questions, really. I would love to help as many as I can. If you have question of any kind about day one, day two, about general questions about just digital painting in general, I'll be more than happy to answer all of them. Like I was saying, these lives will appear every day. So every day that you have a question, you can just show up and ask it to me. And I'll be super happy to help you guys push. And as you can see, I'm going outside of the line here. It's not really a problem. I'll be just kind of, I'll be fixing that later. Also, what I'm added, there's a question. I have a question for you guys, actually. Right now, I'm looking for a screen tablet. I would like to have a screen tablet. And unfortunately, it's not all the models that are kind of available here in Thailand, where I am. So I'm looking to probably acquire a Huion tablet. Let me know if you are having a Huion tablet. I'm looking to maybe purchase the Canvas Pro. All right, so there was some delay here, and the chat just opened. I see all your posts. So if you feel like I was ignoring you, it's not that I was ignoring you. I was not just seeing the chat. So let me just scroll down a little bit. So sorry, guys. So let me just go. I think I see the first question here from Kevin. Is it fine to modify the sketch after posting for the first day? Absolutely. You know, for this challenge, there's really a lot of ways you can participate. You can do a zombie from scratch. You can work a reference of a zombie, or you can do a portrait and then transform it into zombie. And you can really transform it at any stage. You want to transform it at the rendering stage, at the final stage, or at your sketch stage. It's really up to you. I didn't want to push too much the rules this year, just to keep it a little bit more open, so it's a little bit less rigid. You can really just kind of trust your own workflow and yeah, have fun with it, really. Here I'm going to kind of add like a basic layer here, I guess. Maybe just kind of something like that. See, that's an example where I didn't really do the sketch for that piece of clothing here, but I'm just going to paint it with the color here. I think that works. Let me scroll down. Carl says, why do you like mushrooms so much? I don't know. It's a good question. I think it's a really just whimsical shape. Mushroom is so cool. There's mushroom for when I do mushrooms, the mushroom that I have in my head is usually like the Disney mushroom. I don't know. They kind of captivated me when I was a kid, and it still captivates me to this day. I think it's a really cool shape. They come to all shapes, all colors. It's just a fun thing to draw, really. It's also an easy shape to draw where you can pretty much do any mushroom and they'll look super cool. I just want to catch up. The chat here, Bitter Burn says, so we chase game. You're right on time, no worries there. Is it possible to have the sketch monster already done? Or it has to be a portrait and modify it? Like I was saying, everything goes, really. As long as you finish with a monster at the end, you are good to go, really. So there's many ways to do it, really. Also, sharing your progress. That's one big thing, right? So the initial thing of the One Week Portrait Challenge was always for the community to grow as a unit. So sharing your process during the entire week is what will give you more chances to win the prizes, but also just help the community, right? We're here as artists to help one another with feedback, but also with inspiration, accountability, all those things that you need to have as an artist. So no matter how you do your work, just be sure to share either your sketches or your references, your process in some way to help people and to get some help if needed. So that's what I would have to say about this. I think the colors are working pretty well. I like the color palette. Very witch. What would you say? Scrolling down. Sorry, trying to catch up the chat. Always put a capital Q in front of a question, guys. It's so easier for me to see. Jeffrey says, do you have any tip for someone with color blindness? I'm thinking I might stay black and white simply because I keep not seeing the difference between some reds and greens. First of all, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were colorblind. That's quite the challenge, but not an impossible challenge to resolve as an artist. I don't have much tips. I know there's an artist that created a tool called, let me do just a quick research here. It's color constructor app. The guy that created the color constructor, I'm going to put it in the chat. No, the chat's going to go all the way otherwise. Color constructor. He is colorblind, so he created that app to help him to be able to add colors. So that would be the only tip I really know about this. Hopefully that can help. Otherwise, I know that you like it. Colorblind people can see, some colors. But maybe that's what you're saying is between the reds and the greens, basically, that comes to be a little bit more difficult. I'd be curious to know, actually. All right, Mew Perry says, I use XP Pen, but heard that Huion are good. That's good to know. Kibbity-bop-doop-doo. Bitter Burn says, I have one of the cheap XP Pen tablet and the surface became really smooth, really fast. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea because I've been working with an iPad a little bit, so I know how that feels. But an actual tablet, I'm just very excited to be able to work with Photoshop on a proper 24-inch tablet. Laura says, very inspirational witch, David. I like how she looks. I cannot wait to see it finish. Yeah, well, hopefully I'll be able to finish it tomorrow. That's the goal, to be able to just kind of not put too much more than 2 days on it or a couple of hours, because I think that each live will last about an hour. So that will be the goal. I'm hoping to be able to finish it. Like I was saying, I might work on it a little bit tomorrow before the next live. Can I put these? I'm just going to move that on new layer right here via cut and put that on top here. So yeah, I might work a little bit on it just to kind of polish the outlines, which will help me to kind of render it tomorrow, like putting smaller lines and stuff. But yeah, you'll be able to see how I transform the colors and stuff, and then I might just kind of polish it afterwards. Because the portrait usually takes me, anything between 1 to 10 hours if it's a very complicated portrait. I think this one, a couple of hours, 3 hours top should be fine. But sometimes when I chat with you guys, I'm not at my best. So we'll have to see. All right, I think that's the base right here, right now. Oh, I'm missing maybe the belt for the hat. And I'm assuming it's going to be black and some sort of either gold or silver. I might just kind of put that here. And having just the colors like this will help me to understand also like just the color harmony that I want to do. Maybe copper, Copper could be a good thing. So that's one thing here that I guess I didn't talk about, but the color harmony that I'm going for is like a blue-orange. Skin of the tones are kind of orange, and the blue is the complementary color that is in front of it on the color wheel. And I feel like the hair is almost there, I'd say. But I think, yeah, the color scheme works well. I think it's going to be a question of adding the right rendering, the right lighting on it. But in terms of concept, I think everything is there. So let me just kind of, what do we have? The branches here. You know what? Let's just see if I add the branches, if it's good. Otherwise, I think I'm going to call it done for today, and we'll have a few Q&A questions where I'm going to be fully with you guys answering questions in the chat. But just before, let me just kind of check that. I like maybe that color. It's like a gray. Cool things is to know about color theory is when you work with certain colors, doing a gray will look like the opposite color. Like in this case, it looks like a blue-green. This color, this is the gray of the orange. So what do you guys say, huh? Branch or no branch? I feel like I'm going to keep them there for now, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's the concept, guys. So let me put, like I was saying, everything into a kind of folder, and before and after. So that will be the transformation I'm going to complete tomorrow, guys. I'll be adding some lighting, rendering all of it. I'll talk about things like color theory, but also light theory, a little bit of perspective as well. So if you want to learn all about this, be sure to be there tomorrow. But don't go anywhere. This session is not done. Now I would like to kind of spend a few minutes with you guys just to chat. I'm going to put back the camera on me and make sure to have the chat in big and me. So I'm going to kind of scroll all the way down right now. So if you have questions right now, please put a capital Q in front of it. Question about anything. I know I see one from Alicia right here, so I'll start with that. But if I pass a question, just put it back again, please. So Alicia, you were saying, is it a problem to always end up with a very messy, scratchy sketch? As I heard, I tried to, I cannot keep it tidy. Line work, but always work. So to answer your question, no, it's not an issue. But I'll say this. It will become in your way as you render. If you want a very clean rendering, having clean lines or very minimal lines will really help you. Everybody knows Sam does art, right? If you look at his line art, it's really not much, right? He's not a line artist. He's a render artist. He's a lot of things. He's a really good artist. When it comes to the line art, he doesn't spend much time on it. Usually 10 minutes, he has his sketch. Few lines for the perspectives, for the proportions, for the shapes, but that's it. If you want to have that kind of result where it's very polished, where you have, the rendering looks like there's no outline, then I would go with either a minimal lines or a very clean lines. If you want to keep some of the lines in it because you like the rough, sketchy idea of it, then just keep it there, you know? There's artists, I'm trying to remember one artist that does that I really like, because I know there's one. I'm having a blank here where he keeps his line a little bit. Anyhow, there's so many of them, but basically, you know, just play with it. A thick line can help you with an occlusion shadow, for example. It's a great way to just keep your lines, and then you can render everything else, kind of thing, and kind of make them disappear. So in a nutshell, no, it's not a bad thing at all. Bitter Burn says, my sketches are always so messy. A clean sketch for me is like an ink layer, like the final step. Yeah, you know, it's a little bit of me. That's why I like to teach that in the masterclass, in the 1 week portrait masterclass. You start with something sketchy, and then you just do a tracing over your own sketch to kind of make it like just cleaner. And this is going to help you down the line. And it's no problem. It takes you a little bit more time, but as you get better with sketches, you'll have less and less to do that. So that's just kind of a crutch when you start. Soria says, I keep the branches. They add a creepy look. I agree. There's something about it. I just might work with it a little bit later and see what I can do. But yeah. So yeah, guys, just a reminder for the people that we're not at the beginning. So we have a promotion right now. It's only going to last this week, okay? So if you were thinking about joining the Digital Painting Academy, this is the perfect time. You can save up to almost 70%, really. I think it comes up to like 66% of 1 year of the Digital Painting Academy, lifetime access to the 1 week portrait masterclass, and same thing for the Perfect Portrait Foundation. Those two classes are huge. And basically, you're going to get them. You're going to have another year also with the DPA, and the DPA will really help you to, after this challenge, to kind of keep up your momentum. In the DPA, we have clear structure on how to learn step by step, but not just step by step as in like follow me, but in step by step as like, this is the thing you should learn right now based on your level, depending if you are a beginner, intermediate, more advanced, those kind of things. The first thing that you do when you come in the academy is you actually, I'm asking you what's your level, and based on that, I'm able to help you and guide you towards the end. So really, if you want to join, this is the time, guys. We'll have this promotion for the rest of the week. There's a link in the description, so go click on it if you are interested. Lena says, I would love taking classes. Yeah, you know, classes, no matter if it's a DP or anything, classes are always great. I take classes. I think anybody needs to have classes to kind of see their progress jump. Classes on everything, by the way. I'm huge fan of badminton these days. I bought myself a new racket. I'm really into it. And so the first thing I did is I got myself some classes, and it helps. It helps to have someone helping you with guidance, with accountability, with just seeing the small things that personally you don't see as problem, and they're able to just kind of just help you with this. So really, classes about anything, guys, I think is the way to go. And these days with online classes, that's the beauty of it. You got so many ways you can just get better. So that's what I have to say about that. Mew Perry says, I already got these classes and it's really worth it. Well, thank you very much. That's very appreciated. I'm glad that you have them, and I'm glad that you enjoy them. Kevin says, if you're going to begin just after the OWP, no, this time we are going towards the Digital Painting Academy. IFI won't be launched until next year, or even maybe later on. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to close the gap between IFI and the DPA and have kind of a perfect marriage of those two things within the DPA. So I've been working for like the past 12 months on how to make that happen, and I'm pretty close. I just need to make a few tweaks. Basically, what I want to have is what makes Illustration for Imagination program awesome, and add that to the Digital Painting Academy. I would like for us to have on a monthly basis goals where everybody goes around the same step, so you can see the progress between each students and kind of help each other towards the same goals, the same exercises, the same problems, and then have also those illustrations that are more than just exercises. Exercises will always be there. It's one thing that I love to talk about and make sure that there's always something for you to put the knowledge into practice right away. That's one of the things that I think it's just not taught enough. People give a lot of theory and they're like, all right, good luck with it. I like to break things down to like very small, manageable exercises for you to learn stuff. So that's going to stay there. But I would love also in the DPA to be able to have like those bigger projects. So you have bigger things to start building a portfolio. So that would be the idea. All of those things are in the making right now, which is why it's a perfect time to actually join the DPA, because if you are in the DPA for the next 12 months by taking this deal, which makes you save, again, almost 70%, you'll have all of the new things for free when they come out. And they should come out within the next few months, really. So if you're already in the DPA, guys, this is happening. This is coming soon. Just going down. Thank you so much for everybody that's live with me still, guys. This is awesome. I'll do that every day. So I'm hoping to see you guys every day, pushing the illustration and asking and answering questions. Alicia says, I took a promo on a DPA 2 years ago, and since then, I keep renewing every year. So much content. It's amazing, super useful. I'm super happy you say that. Alicia, there's going to be a lot more coming for the DPA, so be ready. I think it's going to be awesome. Question, reading the text. I'm not able to do two things at the same time. That's one of the things that I cannot do. But Bun says, so I'm happy I get this trial and the 1 week portrait try. So yeah, absolutely, guys. I think the 1 week portrait challenge, so the masterclass as well, is it's a great example of what's in the Academy. But you can imagine that we have 5 days, 5 videos in the Academy. We have material for probably more than a year. We have 300 plus videos, but thought in the same kind of process where it's like, here's a manageable small step that's going to give you progress, and here's the next one, and here's the next one. So that's how I like to teach, really. Huge difference compared to YouTube videos, that's for sure. Aguiana says, is it okay to have a more stylistic approach for the portrait challenge? I'm pretty new at doing realism for portrait and struggling quite a bit. I never considered doing realism. It's absolutely fine. But remember this, the things that I teach in the masterclass 1 week portrait, they apply to stylization, things such as anatomy, things such as the planes of the face, light theory, color theory, all of those things applies, right? So to have the style, like you were saying, that is a little bit more cartoony or whatever style that you have is absolutely fine. But try to kind of approach it with the same mentality of trying to apply those techniques to it, all right? Especially things like the planes of the head, for example. Carl says, DPA really did help me to get started with painting when I really struggled with it a year ago. Thank you, Carl. Yeah, it was awesome also to have you with us. Also, we're doing Q&As like this for the students every month. I actually started doing it every 2 weeks. We're not doing it this week because we have the 1 week portrait challenge. But usually I go online and I go over the work of the students that submit the work. That's one of the perks that you get in the DPA that you won't find pretty much anywhere else, where I actually go over your work. You can come live with me like this. You ask me your question based on your personal work, and I make you paint overs. I love to do this. I've been doing it since 2017. It's a pleasure on me. Actually, if you want to see all of this, guys, I have a VIP tour in the description. Click on the link, go check it out. I show you everything inside of the DPA, and I talk about all those places. Dominic says, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate guys. I appreciate you guys too. You know, this is awesome to be able to just share my passion with you guys. I absolutely love it. So it is 9, guys. I'm going to let this one go for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. Tomorrow, same time, I'm going to spend 1 hour with you guys. I'm going to push the illustration that you already have. Let me show you where we are again so you have it clear. Remember, so I'm going to push this. I'm going to push the rendering and the lighting. We'll talk about how to render those things, how to make sure that the lighting makes sense based on my new background that now changes stuff. I'm going to talk about this, all this kind of theory that you can find in the DPA also as well. We have a huge module about lighting, coloring. But anyhow, you'll have a snippet of it tomorrow in the live. So I'm hoping to see you in the live tomorrow. For the rest, have a good day wherever you are. Happy painting. Enjoy this amazing challenge, guys. I'm looking forward to see your monsters. And that's it. Love you all. Talk to you soon tomorrow.